Yo, this is Jase from Ingested. You're listening to the Dan Chan Show.
Jase from Ingested. How's things, mate? Are you in Manchester at the moment or somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm in Manchester, mate. Home sweet home.
Well, nice. You know, Manchester's close to my heart at the moment because my daughter's just started university there. Well, she's been there since September now. So Manchester's like a close place to me. I never thought it'd be that I'd be connected to Manchester like that now. You know what I mean?
It's the greatest city in the world, mate.
She loves it, and so many people say that. You know what I mean? So yeah. And I was just saying this off then, mate. You're the first guest I've had on the show more than once, and I've done 200 interviews, and I've never gone back to an interview. And we met I think it was about a year ago now when you were on tour in Barcelona back in 2023. Yeah. You've had a big year, man. How's it been?
It's been wild, mate. It's been wild. It's just like. It's a bit of a whirlwind, really. It's like we did that tour that I first spoke to you on, when we were on tour with Cannibal Corpse and Dark Funeral, which is insane, like absolutely. Straight away. And then after that, we did some shows in Europe, and then after that,
you went to the States.
We went and did our headline tour in America. We had Devourment going out with us.
Yeah.
And that was our biggest and most successful headline tour to date. So that was another crazy thing. Then we came back and then we played Download for the first time. This is all in one go, by the way. There was no like break or anything.
No breaks.
Yeah, everything.
No breaks.
We did 7 weeks with Cannibal Corpse. Then we went and did 4.5 weeks in America. Then we came back, played Download, and then did 3 shows with Lorna Shore. Then we actually had a break for a few weeks. Then we went to Australia for the first time ever, which was mad because I've never been that far ever in my life. That was crazy, but it was amazing to play somewhere where we'd never been before, like completely like alien territory, if you know what I mean. And then after that, we came back and then we did the massive Lorna Shore tour in Europe and the UK. Yeah.
So
that's how we ended our year. We ended our year.
Go on. Yeah, go on.
Oh yeah, no, that's correct. Yeah, that's how we ended our year.
How many days did you last year? I mean, it's like your feet never touched the ground.
I have no idea. Maybe 200. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe more. Maybe a bit less. I don't know. It was a lot. But it's been like every year's been like that since the lockdowns were lifted for us.
Yeah.
We were one of the last bands. We literally were a week and a half into a tour when the lockdown started. So we were one of the last bands out touring. And then as soon as the lockdowns were lifted, we went on tour with Bleed From Within, straight away. So we were like one of the last bands out and one of the first bands out.
Crazy, isn't it?
And then since then, it's been every year's been like that. Like we've just been constantly on tour because the way we see it is we've never been that band that's like the industry darling, do you know what I mean? The media darling. We've never had any help. We've never had any like leg ups or handouts or any shit like that. We've never been the band that's in the magazines and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
And we had this conversation in Boston, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like everything we've got, we've had to fucking work for it. Yeah. And that's just instilled this crazy work ethic in us. So like for us, we're just like, let's get out there, let's play shows all over the world, let's play for as many people as we can.
Insane.
And let's just kick some fucking ass. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, let's continue on that theme because you're continuing to do that, mate, because the new album does not disappoint. I've had it on since I sent it a few days ago. It's been on repeat. It's amazing. We're talking about the new album, The Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams, which is out on the 5th of April. Now, you've released 2 blistering tracks from it so far, Paragon of Purity and Pantheon. You know, first off, why did you choose those 2 singles at first?
Well, Paragon of Purity, we thought was a perfect ingested ripper. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a proper ingested song. Do you know what I mean? That has all our characteristics in it. So we were like, let's go with that. Let's come out swinging. Let's open it with a bang, and we'll release Paragon of Purity first. Pantheon, we just really like the song. Really, really like that song. It's a bit different. It's heavy. It's brutal. It's it's like it's pacey. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
so we just really liked it. It's just a song that always stuck out to us.
Mm.
So we were like, that's definitely got to be a single.
How
Filming the
excited?
music videos for it was
Yeah, I
really
was going to
cool as
say,
well.
yeah, I was going to say, we'll get into the videos in a bit actually, because I've got a question about that. But how excited are you to be getting this album out? It's only a couple of weeks away now.
I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. I mean, we've been sitting on this album for well over a year
Yeah,
because when I say sitting, I don't mean like, oh, we're sitting on it, we want to
yeah, I
release
know
it
what you
or
mean.
anything. Like
Yeah,
it's just been recorded like for over a year. But that's because of the way that we work. Because
yeah,
we like to we like to work ahead and give ourselves time to prepare for an album release.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So we released our last album in November 2022.
That's right.
That
Yeah,
was when Ashes Lie Still came out, and
yeah,
then 4 weeks after that was released in December 2022. Yeah, 22. We went into the studio and recorded Tied to Death and Fractured Dreams. So it was like straight away because it was ready to go. So we were like, let's get it recorded,
yeah, yeah,
and then that gives us a whole year to prepare for the release of this album
yeah.
whilst we're in between tours, while we're on tours and stuff like that.
Mm, mm.
We can get things sorted, stuff like album artwork,
Yeah,
what we want the merchandise packages to look like,
yeah.
getting the music videos made, everything
Mm,
to make our lives easier whilst we're touring so heavily.
yeah,
Because the last thing we want to be doing is running around like headless chickens, like worrying about a deadline.
yeah. Sure.
You know what I mean? So like we'd rather work like a whole 12 months in advance and then
Yeah,
everything's done.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, it's like obviously we've known about this album for well over a year, but not been able to say anything about it
yeah.
because you want to keep it a
Of
secret, don't you? Do you know what I
course.
mean? You want people so that when you do announce it, everyone goes, "Holy shit!" Like,
Yeah, and it was a
um,
surprise. It did come from the blue.
yeah, yeah, we were just like, "Fuck it, let's just let's announce the album and drop the first single with a music video."
Yeah,
Boom! Like,
yeah,
let's go.
absolutely. Now, tell me about the speed at which you recorded this. And apparently, it was like a week, and you had some pretty brutal conditions.
We recorded the album in Wales,
Oh,
in
right,
the
okay.
Welsh valleys, like literally in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Where was it?
And it was in Powys,
Right, okay.
so it's like near Welshpool or
Yeah,
something, I think.
yeah, yeah.
And it was brutal, like it was fucking brutal. Like the week was like Lynn was looking at the weather report and shit, and he was like, this is the coldest week like in like 50 years in this area. Like it was savagely cold. And obviously with that then causes loads of problems with like
Mm,
things like warming
yeah.
up and
Oh,
like getting
strings,
ill and stuff
skins.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was brutal. But the thing is though, we're the type of band that if we feel like our back's against the wall or we feel like
Adversity.
we're backed into a corner,
Yeah.
that's like when we're gonna start swinging. Do you know what I
Fighting
mean?
talk.
Because then it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that we thrive
Mm,
in situations like this for
yeah.
some reason. Like that kind of hardship, like gets the best out of us. And I think it's to do with that always feeling like we've got a point to prove that
Mm.
we've got this fucking chip on our sholdder. Maybe it's because we're all fucking Northerners and working class, like, you know, maybe it's a Manchester thing. Like, but it's like that. I don't know why. It's always been like that though. Like
Yeah.
whenever we've been up against it, it's just like we do our best shit. And I mean like the fact that we prepare ourselves for like recording an album for 12 months as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So for 12 months we've been demoing tracks at home, we've been tweaking them and fiddling with them, getting them to where we want so that by the time we do go into the studio,
Yeah.
this is all muscle memory anyway.
Sure.
So it was
Sure.
like, yes, we had to get through these brutal conditions, but we were so well prepared that the the anger that we were experiencing with being in these cold shit conditions kind of was like fuel to that fire. So we ended up getting like such an intense performance on the album from all three of us.
Well, I was going to say,
Um,
do you think the conditions bled into the feeling of the album?
yeah, yeah, I do.
That's
I
pretty.
do, because like when I listen to it, I fucking feel cold. Remember how fucking cold it was and how annoyed I was.
I'm talking of the feel of the album. What's the album about? I've read that it's a very, very personal album. Can you elaborate on this for
Yeah.
me?
There's loads of personal things in there. It encompasses a lot of things. I mean, I can only speak from the point of view of the songs that I wrote lyrically, because me and Sean, our guitarist, we kind of handled the lyrics
Yeah.
about 50-50 now.
Yeah.
It just depends on which one of us is feeling which song and stuff like.
I get
But
it.
I mean, we've always wrote songs from like a personal perspective, like for the past few albums, really, like since Level Above Human, and the songs that we write are usually about maybe a personal experience or a personal feeling or
Yeah.
something that we've witnessed, or do you know what I mean? Like hopes, fears, worries, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what we like to do though is I like to take my personal experiences and put them onto paper
Mm.
because it helps me with writing, for one, because it's something that I care about. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Something that I can feel.
Sure.
But also it helps just getting things off your chest. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not all
Therapy.
trapped in your head. Like,
Yeah.
and but on the flip side of that, I'm quite a private person. So it's like I don't want to be so fucking like so on the nose
Yeah.
about what it is that I'm
I
talking
get it.
about. So
But
what I'll do
you feel
is
that other people can take from it though.
exactly, well, this is it. So what I'll do is I'll take my personal experience or whatever it is that the song's about, and then I'll wrap it in like a fantastical skin.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like I'll put different metaphors in and different similes and stuff, and so then it's more vague what the song is actually about. So I know, so when I'm listening to it, I know what it's about because I wrote it. So
Yeah.
I know what it means to me.
Sure.
But what I also like is when I listen to a band, say I'm going through a rough time or whatever, for example, and I come across a song by a band and I'm reading the lyrics and I'm listening to the song and I'm just like, and the way that I interpret it is, oh my God, this kind of applies to what I'm going through right
Mm.
now. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? And it
Yeah.
kind of, it makes you feel good, and because it makes you think,
Of course.
I'm not, I'm not the only one. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Of
Like, I'm
course.
not alone. Like,
No.
and then you end up forming like a bond and a connection with that band and that song
Of course.
that lasts forever. And I hope that the way that I write lyrics and try to leave them up for interpretation is that if somebody is going through something and they do listen to one of our songs and read my lyrics and interpret it in a way that makes them feel better about whatever it is that they're going through, like that's one of the small ways that I can give back to our fans.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because
It
it's
means a lot
like
to people though. It means a lot.
absolutely, and it's like obviously like our fans support us in
Mm.
various ways, like whether they're buying tickets to a show, they're coming to a show and buying merchandise or
Yeah.
t-shirts, or they're buying the album or streaming the album or
Sure.
talking to their friends about it or sharing it or whatever it is that they're doing to support us.
Mm.
There's not many ways that we as a band are able to give back to people, like especially on an individual basis.
I get
But
it.
it's like
Yeah.
if I can give back and help someone, even if it's like a tiny bit, do you know what I mean, in their
Of course.
personal life with something that they're struggling with, then like to
Yeah.
me that's a win, isn't it?
Of
Do you know
course
what I
it
mean?
is. Massive, massive, massive. Now, talking about that, I mean, there were a couple of tender moments on the album, and the closer, Path Once Lost, has a lot of like Machine Head Rob Flynn vibes. It's nice to have some yin and yang on the
Yeah.
album, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's Sean, our guitarist, singing on that,
Was it
which is
really?
mad. Yeah, it's Sean. Yeah,
No
it's
way.
wild. And like the best thing is, none of us even knew, not even he knew that he could sing. Right, and
That's
then,
blown me away, man. That's blown me away.
dude, it's wild. So like, basically, he'd wrote this song and he recorded a demo of it, and he'd recorded himself singing it at home in his conservatory or whatever,
Right.
and has the best reverb apparently.
Yeah.
And so he'd recorded himself, and he sends it. He sends it to me and Lynn, like, and he's sending it as like a vocal guide. So his intention was for me to sing it. Now my singing voice is a lot different to his.
Yeah.
Because mine's more like mine's more gravelly. Do you know what I mean? Mine's a bit more crowbar like. So
yeah.
so when I heard it, I was just like, oh my God, his voice sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, me and Lynn were saying he has to sing this.
Yeah.
Because if I sing it, it's gonna completely change the tone of the song, and it's not gonna be the same.
Wow.
And he because Sean was like, he didn't even think it was good, his voice. And we were like, dude, this sounds amazing. You have to sing this song. Like, and we got him to sing it. And
what a closer as well. Did he enjoy that?
Well, here's the thing, right? So
it was cold.
Me and Lynn wanted to, it was cold. Me and Lynn wanted to watch him record it. But what he did was, because he's a fucking sneaky bastard, he waited until me and Lynn were cooking food, like cooking everyone tea.
Yeah.
And then he fucked off into the studio and recorded it on the sly, like when nobody was there, like it was just him and our engineer. And we were like, oh, when you recording the Path Once Last? He's like, already done it. Did it the other day. And we were like, you piece of shit. I can't believe you've done that. Like, because he didn't want us to watch him. Do you know what I mean? Because I guess he'd never sang in front of anyone before. I'm sure. So he just didn't want us to be there. But we were like, fucking hell, man.
It works, man. It works.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite songs on the album. Possibly my favorite song on the album.
It's brilliant. It blew me away. Now, tell me about the track Pantheon. Obviously, we just touched up on it earlier, but it comes from a very humble place, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's a song basically about what you'd call imposter syndrome, I guess. So it's like the best way I can describe it is like when you're growing up as a kid and you're like listening to all these bands and watching going to all these shows, and you idolize these bands and these band members and stuff, and like you revere them so much, and they inspire you to pursue the same thing as your career.
Yeah.
And then it's like fast forward 18 years, and then you're sitting in the backstage with these same people that you idolized as gods, basically.
Yeah.
And then you're friends with them, and you're eating dinner with them, and you're living with them, and you're sharing the stage with them. And it's like, I sit there and I'm like, even now, and I'm just like, what the fuck? How the fuck has this happened? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Fucking Jason Evans from from the council estate. Why the fuck am I here? Like, how the fuck has this happened? But then it's like, then your intrusive thoughts start coming in, and then you're like, do I even deserve to be here? Am I even good enough? Like, what? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you have to like, because obviously everything moves so fast when you're on tour, when you're in that environment.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to take a moment to like sit down and get some clarity and just be like, tell yourself like, no, you do fucking deserve to be here.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? You've worked your ass
off
for nearly 20 years to get to this spot.
Yeah.
So now you're in this spot, get the ball and run with it. Run as far as you can with it.
Exactly.
This is the only chance you get. So,
and all those guys that you're on stage with and you're sharing tours with, they were in that position at one point as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's like, it's a thing where it's not just, this isn't a thing that's exclusive to people in bands or anything. I think people from all walks of life like have these thoughts, whatever job you're in or whatever like path of life you're in, you'll always, when good things happen, you'll always be like, do you know what I mean?
Do you think they'll ever do you feel those feelings will ever subside, or do you think they'll always linger? I mean, how do you feel the future will be in like 20 years time?
I mean, for me, I think I'll always have these thoughts because I'm a hypercritical person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very self-critical all the time. Like, sometimes to my detriment as well. Like, I'm hypercritical over everything that I do, like in the band, because I want to be the best. This is the thing. It's like I don't give a shit about money or fame or anything like that. I just want to be the best death metal band on the fucking planet. Yeah, I want a legacy. I want immortality.
Yeah.
I want to make an impact.
I think you've achieved it in the UK, mate. That's for sure.
Lasts. Thanks, man.
So, tell me about the guests on the album. You got a couple of people. Tell me, how did you get them involved?
Well, Josh Middleton from Cylosis. We've known him for years.
Yeah.
Because obviously Ingested and Cylosis came up through the same UK scene. So we've known each other for years and we've always wanted to work with him. But we had to just wait for the right song to come along because the way we do guest vocals is different, I think, than other bands in this scene. Because like I think if there's one thing I can't stand, man, like you'll know what I'm talking about when I say it is. It's like a thing that's like exclusive to this scene as well. It's like you'll go on the internet and then there'll be like a new song and it's this whatever band featuring whatever vocalist and you're like, ooh, sick. Oh, I'll put that on. So you put it on and then you're listening to it and then 3 minutes goes by and you're like, where the fuck is this vocalist? Like, where is he? Like, what's going on? Like, and then it's like 15 or 20 seconds at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like a breakdown or something, and then it's like the vocalist comes on and does like 15 seconds, and the song ends, and you're just like, what is the point in that? Like, what that added nothing to the song at all.
Got you.
And it's just like, to me, that's just like it's creatively barren, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And it just like for me, it just stinks of like clout chasing. It's like you've clearly just put this guy on 15 seconds of your song at the end so that you can get his name in your song title. So you get a better algorithm or a fucking better clicks on YouTube or whatever it is. And I'm just not about that shit. So like when we do guest vocalists, it's like, I want them on the whole song. Do you know what I mean? I want you to be on the whole song because if you look at like the top 40 chart, and you've got you've got Beyonce doing a song with Lady Gaga. It's not Beyonce singing about single ladies for 3 minutes and then Lady Gaga comes on for 15 seconds at the end of the song, is it? Like, do you know what I mean? They're on the whole song.
Yeah, of course.
So the way we do it is like they're going to be a part of the whole song, but also we want the vocalist that we want because of their personality as a vocalist.
Yeah.
Like their delivery, the way that their vocals sound, everything about them that's unique. So in order for that to work, the song choice has to be right as well. But because we're not a band that's just going to go, oh, well, we want this guy on a song, better write a song that's like that. Like, that's not how we work. So it's like, we just have to wait for a song to come along. Like, and it might not. Like, but, Expect to Fail came along and we were like, Josh would sound insane on this song. So we recorded it. We asked him if he wanted to be involved and he was like, yeah, send me the song, man. Like, so we sent it to him and about 4 hours later, he sent it back and he'd recorded the whole thing.
Wicked.
And it sounds insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was great to finally be able to work with him. Mark Hunter from Chimera, that was a little bit different than the way we usually work, because usually it's when we have guest vocalists, it's someone that we know, like it's someone that we're friends with. Do you know what I mean? We don't just usually ask people out of the blue because we feel a bit weird about it. Do you know what I mean? It feels a bit awkward for us, like So, and with Chimera being such an important band to me and Sean, it's been like Chimera have been a huge part of like our musical journey, like since we were kids, basically. Like for us, like Impossibility of Reason, top 5 metal albums of all time, classic album. Mark Hunter had always been someone that, you know, like when you have like your wish list or your bucket list, like,
of course.
where it's people that you're just like, yeah, that'd be sick, but it'll never, like, you know, it'll never happen. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, Mark Hunter was on that, and we were just like, yeah, that would be mint. Like, but you know, it's pipe dream, innit? And so we thought it'd never happen, and then it was really weird. It was a weird coincidence, really. So we were recording the album, and we went out for like to a petrol station, you know, just for a break, just to get some snacks and some drinks and that. And while we're there, Sean's on his phone on Twitter, and he's like, "Oh my God, Mark Hunter's just like tweeted or retweeted." I don't have Twitter, so I don't really know
No.
what it is, but
Yeah.
he's mentioned us in some fashion on Twitter, and I'm like, Mark Hunter from Chimera, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like, fuck off, no way, and so he's like.
Jumped on it.
Sean messaged him like straight away and was like, "Oh my God, like, dude, thank you so much for your kind words. Like, we're massive, massive fans. So you've absolutely made our day. Like, seriously, that means the world to us. Thank you." And he like Mark messaged back saying, "Yeah, no worries, man. Love the band." And we were like, "He loves the band." And then we were just like, "Yeah, that's sick." And then thought nothing of it. And then we go back, and then a couple of days later, I finished recording the vocals for In Nothingness.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the studio and I'm listening to the song on repeat. And there's just something like, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but there was just something missing from the song. And I'm like, there's just I can't put my finger on what it is. I don't know what it is, but it's like, there's just something's not quite there. And then I ask our engineer Nico to just put the hook, the chorus on repeat. I was like, just play this section over and over for me. Like, let me just listen to it. And then I think it must have been like, like subconsciously in the back of my mind because of what happened the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to it and listening to it and listening to it. And then I in my head, I can hear like Mark Hunter's voice singing it. And I'm like, oh my God. But it took me a few times of listening to it to realize what it was that I could hear in my head. Because I could hear him singing it, but couldn't place whose voice it was that I could hear singing it in my head. Right.
It's hilarious.
And then eventually, like, I figured out, like, I'm like, oh my God, like, Mark Hunter would sound amazing on this. Like, I could proper hear him singing, like, like proper Chimera like style, like, yeah. And so I say that to Lynn and Sean, and Lynn's just like to Sean. He said to Sean, just message him and ask him. And Sean's like, what? Like, because obviously we'd never done that before. Just asked someone.
Yeah.
So we're a bit awkward about it, but Lynn's just like, just ask him. What's the worst he can say? No.
Yeah.
Like, and we were like, oh my God, are we going to ask him? Like, so Sean messaged him and just said like, hey, we're in the studio. We've just finished a song that we think you're really going to shine on. Do you fancy collaborating with us on it? And he was like, hell yeah, send me the track. So we sent it in a few days later. He sent it back and we were just like, oh my God, proper Chimera.
That's amazing.
Well sick. So yeah, it was a bit different from how we'd usually work.
What a result though.
But yeah, back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's quickly go over the visuals for the album. First off, the album cover is very striking, obviously. So tell us about that, but also the story behind the two videos. Because the Pantheon video really does resonate with the lyrics as well. The whole movement and the whole journey through you walking through them, ripping your heart out and trying to offer it. Tell us about all those three things.
Okay, so the album artwork, it's the second time that we've worked with the artist David Seidman. We worked with him for the first time on our previous album, Ashes Lie Still. And working with David Seidman is it's so amazing because he's so unique in his vision, like in the way that he sees art, really. I mean, what he's actually known for before working with us is he's a commission painter. So people commission these bespoke, like custom 80s and horror movie posters.
Yeah.
Like the big posters. But he does all the artwork for him. And our guitarist, Sean, he's a avid collector of anything 80s and horror movie.
Right.
So like when you go to his house, it's like a fucking museum, mate. Like it's mad. And so he gets these posters. Like he commissions them, and he'll buy ones that other people commission from David. And a few years ago, we were on tour. I can't remember where, But Sean had commissioned one of these posters, and he's like, says to me and Lynn, he's like, "Yo, look at this poster that I've just got commissioned," and it was awesome. It was so sick, and we were just like, "What the fuck?" So Sean explained, like, "Oh, it's this guy called David Seidman. He does this, blah blah blah," and we're like, "Is that painting?" And he's like, "Yeah," and we were just like, "Oh my god, like that is wild."
Yeah.
And Lynn was like, Has he ever worked with any bands before?" And Sean was like, "No, I don't think so." And Lynn was like, "Message him." Message him right away. So yeah, we messaged him and asked him if he'd be interested in working with us for an album cover for Ashes Lie Still. And he was like, "Yeah." So that's where that relationship started. And obviously that album artwork was so striking and so cool that we just had to work with him again for the Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams. But the way that we work with David is different from how we used to go about getting our album covers. So on all the other ones that we've done and all the other artists that we've worked with, we were very hands-on with the concept.
Yeah.
But like, as in, like, we knew exactly what we wanted. We'd even send like sketches with annotations of, you know, like, this is what we want. This is the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with David, we thought that he's so unique that, and that's obviously why we wanted to work with him. That why would we interfere?
Yeah, of course.
In his vision. So because we want to work with him because of his vision. If we start telling him what the vision should be, then why are we working with him?
Yeah.
So what we did was we literally just, for both albums, we gave him the album title, the lyrics and the music, and was like, "You tell us what you think this album looks like."
Yeah, I like it.
And then that's what he did with the Tide of Death and Fractured Dreams. And for me, I know I'm biased, but I genuinely think it's one of the best album covers I've ever seen.
Cool. Like, it is very cool. It is very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just great to work with. And the fact is that the other thing as well is that obviously with us being like the only band that he's worked with, that makes it even more unique as well. Like, because like in this scene, there's a lot of bands that all use the same artists.
Yeah, of course.
And then album covers start to all look the same.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, nah, it's not for me that.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? I want to stand out. I don't want to.
Of course.
I don't want to blend in with everyone else. I want to be out here rattling the fucking cages. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's why we love working with David. Just because of his uniqueness. Like, it's so surreal, the work that he does. And I think honestly, I think like this album cover perfectly visually represents what this album is.
Awesome.
Yeah. Like, as far as the videos go, especially Pantheon, like,
great. Well, they're both great videos, but
yeah, they're both great video.
Yeah.
Paragon of Purity. The idea behind that video was the song ramps up in intensity and brutality as the song goes on.
Yeah.
And it all heads up to this crescendo right at the end. So what I wanted from the video was violence to slowly ramp up until it builds up to a crescendo of violence, which is running parallel to what's going on with the song.
Yeah.
So obviously it starts off and there's a bit of blood and I'm tied up and that. And then as the song progresses, then there's barbed wire wrapped around my head. So there's more blood.
Yeah.
And then the guts start being ripped out and then the eyes get gouged out. And then right before the big slam at the end, my tongue is torn out of my mouth. And then the final like verse is like delivered with just me just spewing blood out everywhere with no eyes and fucking guts hanging out and shit. Like, and it's great, like, because I think it perfectly ramps up with what's going on in the song.
Yeah.
Pantheon, however, there's more of a narrative to that. Like,
was it cold on that video?
Dude, it was freezing. It was freezing, man.
Where was that
so
film?
Cold. So parts of it were filmed in Gorton, which
Yeah,
is where I am.
yeah.
Like literally like 5 minutes away from my house. Like I could
Handy.
have walked to where we like the bit at the beginning when I wake up in the water, that's Gorton Reservoir and
Oh
it's
God,
fucking disgusting, bro. It's disgusting.
got you in the
Like
mood.
it was horrible. It's making me want to gip now just even thinking about it. But yeah, so like that's filmed in Gorton. And then the bits where I'm walking through the woods and that's in like Reddish Vale, which again is about 5 minutes away from my house.
Right.
And then the other bits where we're at that amazing waterfall,
Mm,
that was in the Peak District.
yeah, yeah. I thought it would be all right.
So yeah, that waterfall, that location was amazing.
Stunning.
Getting to it, however, was treacherous.
Really.
It was dangerous getting
What
to
time of
that
year
fucking
was it?
thing. It was a couple of months ago.
Oof.
So it was freezing. It was freezing, mate. Like I think it was like beginning of February.
Oh God.
Like it was freezing. But the cool thing about that is as well, all the props and the masks and
Yeah.
the special effects and shit. I made all that.
Really?
Yeah, I did all that myself, especially the heart rip at the end. Like literally everything. Everything. I made it all. The masks, I made it all.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the heart rip at the end, that like special effect, like I made that.
God, man, that's really cool.
Yeah,
God.
it was loads of hard work, like because I just had to figure it out. Like, do you know what I mean? I was just like, how can I do this for no money?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to not spend money, but I wanted it to look sick, so I just
Yeah.
had to figure stuff out. But the idea behind the narrative of that video is like it's about basically going on like a journey of
Mm.
like hardship and obstacles,
Yeah.
and you basically get to the end of your journey and then you have a choice to make,
Mm.
a sacrifice. Like what are you willing to offer to the gods, the
Yeah.
pantheon, so
Mm.
to speak? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice
Yeah.
to get what you want?
Mm.
And that's what the idea
Well,
is.
it comes across, mate. Honestly, it comes across. Great video.
Thanks.
And as I say, you do it for, and this goes on perfect for my next question because you guys are very honest, true, hardworking, humble outfit. One, how do you keep grounded like that? And I suppose the fact that you're doing your own props for your own videos says a lot, right? And then from what I remember, I think you guys are you're balls and all with this band, right? This is all you do because a lot of bands obviously have side jobs and side hustles, but this is everything you do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's more important for everyone listening to make sure that they're going, buy the tickets and buy the albums and buy the t-shirts. But how much extra emotional, stress and emotion does that bring to the table as well when you got bills to pay and you're thinking, right, does that put any stress onto you?
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does, because this is it for us. Like this is everything for us. Do you know what I mean? This is what keeps a roof over our wife and kids' heads and keeps food in their bellies and keeps the electric on. Do you know what I mean? Like, so this is everything for us. Like if this doesn't work, then it's like, right, okay, well then we're just gonna have to go and find jobs and that'll be the end of Ingested. So it's like it's amazing that we have such an awesome fan base all over the world that supports us.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That's why every time we do something, whether it's a music video or an album or a show, it's like we will give it everything that we've got.
Yeah.
We will make sure that we leave our hearts on that stage for you.
And I know that. I've seen it.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, it is stressful sometimes because it's not something where it's like, you're not working for a company.
And you don't know what money's going to be coming in. You don't know how many t-shirts you're going to sell that night. You don't know how many tickets you're going to sell that night.
Exactly. You just have to hope that it's going to work out. And like so far at the moment, it's working out. I mean, we can pay our bills and stuff.
That's good.
We're not like fucking rolling in it by any fucking means.
No.
Like, well, but I mean, we can pay our bills. Do you know what I mean?
That's all that's important. That's all that's important.
That's it. Like, as long as we can pay our bills and our families don't have to worry, then.
And moving on from that perfectly is another way people can help you pay your bills is you've got a huge headlining tour in Europe to back up the release starting early April. It's a big tour, man. That's a big one. Is that the
Yeah.
biggest you've done in Europe? Oh, headlining.
On a headliner, yeah. On our headliner, yeah. This will be the biggest headline tour that we've ever done in Europe, which is wild, man. Like, I'm excited. But yeah, like, get them tickets,
Yeah,
ingested.co.uk. Like, we're going to be everywhere over April and May. So, um, just buy them
yeah.
tickets and let's just make this the most
Cool.
successful tour that we've ever done.
Exactly. What else is happening this year, gig wise? You got your festivals, or anything?
We're taking a year out from festivals this year.
Brilliant. Any reason for that?
Yeah, because distance makes the heart grow fonder, doesn't it? Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like if you're at
Like,
festivals every year, it's
yeah.
like,
Well, hats.
people will start getting sick of seeing you. So it's like
Point.
what we'd rather do is
Interesting.
do these tours. We've got more tours that are confirmed but not announced yet, so I
Sure.
can't tell you what they are yet. But they are good. They're really
Yeah.
good.
Awesome.
But yeah, festivals, we're taking our foot off the gas with festivals this year.
Sure. Sure.
But other than that, we've got the album coming out April the 5th. We've got the tour through April and May. We've got more singles and more music videos to come out, like so. And then we've got tours throughout the rest of the year. So
Busy one.
it's gonna be another busy year. Another busy year. Every year's busy, isn't it, man? Like so.
I know, it's good. The more tracks you release, the harder a set list is to create. How do you approach
Mm.
that? I mean, how are you going to approach this tour with having another bunch of tracks to throw in the mix?
Well, it makes it easier, obviously, with it being our headline tour. So it means
Of
that we've
course,
got
more
like an extra
time.
half an hour
Sure,
to play
sure.
with.
Yeah,
So that's like an extra,
yeah,
six songs,
yeah.
5 or 6 songs we can play than what we usually would.
Hmm.
Um, it's cool because I mean, like, obviously we want to play some new ones from the new album to build up the hype for the new album and shit.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
those songs are bangers.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna play like 3 new ones off the new album, and then that's when it gets interesting. That's when it gets fun for us because then we can just pick bangers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you think
Bang,
you'll
like
mix it up?
certified bangers. Yeah, we are mixing it up. We're picking songs for, from 6 of our albums
Yeah,
for this tour,
brilliant.
and some of them are songs that we've not played in years.
That's brilliant.
Like so, I'm super excited. Like I'm super excited to play some really old songs, and
Awesome,
then
man.
some of them are just absolute classics, which people like. I mean, the best thing about this set list for this tour is that whether you're an old fan or a new fan, there will be something to please every single person that comes to this tour.
Yeah,
You'll get to listen to something that you really want to listen to.
yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
that's how
yeah,
we've designed it. We want it to
that's
be a
good.
celebration
Awesome.
of our history, our
Love it.
present, and our future.
I love
Like,
it.
do you know what I mean?
I love that, man. Right, quick fire questions. Obviously, because you got so many shows under your belt. You've played in so many continents now. What, 3, 4 continents? I'm going to
Mm.
break this down to categories. Right, best place for fans.
Ooh, best place for fans. Ooh, America probably.
Best place for the vibe. Best
The
vibe.
vibe. Manchester.
Best place for food.
That's gonna be America again, isn't it? Gonna be
Okay.
America again, man. I love those triple heart bypass burgers, bro.
Yeah. Well, I know this next question will not be America, but best place for the drink.
Oh, Belgium probably.
Best best venue or best one of the best venues.
Best venue. Rebellion in Manchester. I love that place. I love
Best
it. I love it.
best country for shows. States.
Yeah, I'd say the States. The States, yeah.
Okay, with all this in mind, have you got anything top of your mind for a quick good tour story? You've toured so much, something funny, disastrous, show wise, travel wise, whatever. Make it an entertaining story. Anything funny? Anything good?
Oh God.
Go on, top of your head.
On that Cannibal Corpse tour, when we were in Gothenburg, I shat myself on stage in front of like 800 people, and
Was that
nobody knew.
what was the reason? What was the cause?
So right, get this as well. Second song in our set, so it was only on the beginning of the second song,
Jesus.
and I was like, oh, I'm gonna like get really low and do like a massive growl, and as I
Shot
did
him.
it, I just felt like I was like, and I was like, oh no. Like, oh no, like, but it was like nobody knew. So
Oh
at first I was
man,
like, "Ooh, this is like secret power."
get away with this.
Like, do you know what I mean? And
Oh
then,
man.
but it was weird though because I had to like, I couldn't check with, like check with my hand because I
Yeah,
was
of
like, if I
course.
check with my hand, one, I'll have shit on my hand if I have shat, and two, everyone will know that I've shat myself because they'll be like, why is he checking his ass? Like, and then the other thing I thought was, I can't turn my back to the crowd
No, no.
because I don't
You know
know
what's gonna look
how
like.
bad it is.
Oh
So
shit.
I had to keep backing after each song. I'd be like, "Thank you, Gothenburg," and I'd be like backing away, like walking backwards to try and feel for my drink, to
What
try
about the
and find my
smell?
water
What about the
bottle.
smell? No
Well,
smell.
it didn't smell. It didn't
Man,
smell. It didn't smell. It
lucky.
was like a liquid poo.
Got away with that one, mate.
So
Christ.
yeah, I totally got away with it. And then I remember I like ran off stage when we'd finished. I was like, holy shit, I need to go and check. And I like running into the backstage and and there's a toilet in the backstage, like a bathroom. But luckily, they had a washing machine and a dryer in there as well. So I was like, oh, thank fuck for that.
Right.
So I like running and throwing all my stage clothes in there, and then I had Harryman from from Dark Funeral in his full stage gear, right, all with his corpse paint on, all his spiky leathers and shit, and he's just like, Jason. I would really like it if the bathroom was free just before, we get on stage, which is fine usually. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I've just shit myself on stage. Will you give me 5 minutes, please? And he was like, oh, okay then. Like, and he just walked out.
Classic.
I was like, please. I was like, please. I wouldn't do this normally.
That's so
I have
funny.
shit myself.
Now, mate, with all that in mind, all that high octane shit that goes on, literally, how do you relax away from the music? It's so 24/7 for you. How do you unwind, or is it easy? Is it not easy to do
Um,
that?
when I'm on tour, it's hard. It's hard to unwind. So what I usually do is I'll try and just get in my bunk and just
Yeah.
watch something on my phone or like watch a movie or whatever. Um, but like when I'm at home, how I unwind, I paint Warhammer.
Really?
Yeah, I love painting Warhammer. Like I was doing it all day this like afternoon
Just
while
lose
the kids
yourself
were in
doing it.
school.
Amazing.
Yeah, I just love doing it. Like it's something because I'm a creative person, so I like making things or like painting things, and
Mm.
whether it's making music or like making weird masks for for music
Yeah, yeah, for
videos
music
and shit.
videos.
Like,
I
but
love it.
just painting, putting together Warhammer and painting
Brilliant.
Warhammer. It's like I've got like a huge army that I've been painting for the last like 2 years, and I've not even played it.
Wow.
I've not played Warhammer since I was about 15 years old. Like, but I just love painting it. Like, I
Yeah.
want to play it, but I'm
Yeah.
just like, just sitting down and just putting like a podcast on my phone and then
Nice.
just sitting there and just painting Space Marines, man. I
Nice.
just
Finally, man, a message for the fans. What have you got to tell them?
just want to say thank you for all your support over this past 18 years. Whether you're a new fan or an old fan, like we love you all the same. Like your support, whether that's buying an album, buying a ticket to a show, or buying a t-shirt, or even streaming our music on Spotify or YouTube or whatever, like that is what keeps our lights on at home.
Mm.
And without you, we can't do this crazy thing that we do. So thank you so much. Please pre-order the brand new album, Tied to Death and Fractured Dreams. It's out April 5th through Metal Blade Records. Also, if you're in the UK or Europe, go over to ingested.co.uk and pick up a ticket for our upcoming headline tour with Fallujah, Vulvodynia, and Melancholia because it's going to be wild. The tickets are flying out, so get them now before you can't. That's ingested.co.uk. You can also pre-order the new album through there. But yeah, just keep supporting us, and we'll keep doing this crazy thing. And hopefully, I'll see you all out at a show soon. Like, if you see me knocking around, like, don't hesitate to come and say hello. So yeah, I love meeting you all, and yeah, just thank you so much. Cheers.
Have you finished, mate?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I nearly ran out of breath then. Nearly shat myself again.
Mate, Jase, thanks so much for joining me on this show. As always, I wish you every success for this ride, the brand new album, all the tours, and I'll be seeing you on the road very soon.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure.